5.
But it's over, you listen to boom shaka, 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 boom shaka, boom shaka, boom shaka, boom. Guys, can I show you guys how cute my top is? You know, it looks simple, né? Look at the back. Hi everyone and welcome back. Now if you are new here today, please do not forget to smash that subscribe button. And for all my returning subscribers, welcome to another video by your ultimate fave. And I'm smiling today because I know a lot of you have been asking me to release a story time, and I cannot remember how long it's been since I released a story time. And maybe guys, maybe it's because I'm tired of being the butt of y'all's jokes. You know what I'm saying? Maga, this time it's a vindication story time. It's where I'm gonna be vindicated. You understand what I mean? You understand what I mean? By the title of the video, you guys can see that I was falsely accused of doing the things that only God knows that black women wouldn't do. And the answer you're looking for is cheating. We don't cheat. We don't cheat. We just make mistakes. And mistakes can be forgiven, but we don't cheat. Well, at least I know I don't. Come at me in the comments, please. No, don't come at me in the comments. So I'm back, guys, with another good story time. It's actually funny because my good friends reminded me of the story when I actually went to go see them recently. We were talking about like how wild our early 20s were and how our relationships were literally the craziest, wildest experience that we've ever been through. And while we were talking about that, they actually reminded me of this particular story time that I thought that I should probably tell you guys about how crazy my life has been. Okay, no guys, yo, Amatata are not the answer. They never have been, and they once said with me, never will be. Gotcha. So without rambling too much, let me just get into the crux of the story. Yo guys, I guys who drink what one finally says, never drink it. But guys, in his defense, it was kind of my fault because I was just afraid of him. But anyway, let me start at the very beginning. Now, for all of you who know me, you guys know that I was in a long-term relationship with this gent that I've obviously branded on my story times as Drake. And because he was my longest relationship, he is the person I shared a lot of stories, you know what I'm saying? So this actually happened, I can't remember, it was in the middle of our relationship, but it was when obviously he was at the height of his cheating career. you know, he was at the height of his cheating career. And I don't know, man, it was working, but it wasn't working, but it was working. And you know, when you're at the height of your cheating career, automatically you assume your partner's also cheating, right? So that's essentially what was going on in our relationship. Like, he was watching me like a hawk, he was tracking me, he was hacking my phone. Like, hey, Bendipila is ngaspizan. Bendipila is 50 Shades of Grey. With just a little dash of cheating. No, not a dash. It was a lot of dash of cheating in the mix. So at that point, I guess we could say we were kind of living together because I was always at his place. And in being at his place, some of the times he would let me drive his cars. He wouldn't let me drive that other one. The one that I stole. But he definitely would let me drive his other 2 cars. I don't know, I guess no, but also he taught me how to drive, so I guess he kind of became comfortable that, and guys, I was driving as well, so there would be days where I'd park my car, he would let me drive his car, and you know, just for egotistical purposes, you know. That's what's one pagamisa or impagamo, guys. Sometimes TV asesibhedlela, like baby dinga impagamo angeke ngisokukitwa jola lelo phara ke ska bona hala gore ke utlwana lelo phara.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Can't be housewives of Johannesburg, but then you busy driving there, you're skoro, but your man's busy. No, guys. So for Istima Sami, as umuntu wakatrizi, I used to drive his cars. When I wasn't too busy stealing them, I was allowed to drive them. So, the one day, I think, I don't know what was going on that week. I do remember that him and I, we were we were not seeing eye to eye that week. Like, he was just being very shady. And I think that weekend, he was out of town. He had went home. Or so he says. I'll come back to that story one day and you'll see how toxic this date actually really was. The one weekend he's like to me, okay, cool. He was like, no, no, he wasn't in town, I remember. He wasn't in town. The one weekend he's like to me, okay, cool, I'm going out of town, wada. I think he was out of town, I don't remember, this, that, or the third. No, he was out of town because I remember that he only started coming for my guts on the Monday. So whilst he's out of town, we get into a little scuffle, right? We get into like a little scuffle, but he allows me to take his car for the weekend because he took the really fast one, the 2-seater. Cool. Now that weekend I get a call from, now he's out of town. He's out of town with my best friend's partner, of whom him and that partner, they're good friends, but they can even go as far as saying they're related. Do you understand? You know when good friends become such good friends that they say, I know we cousins, when you know that really they're not cousins according to home affairs, they're not cousins according to the blood and stuff, but they call themselves cousins. As a matter of fact, he calls himself the uncle, whatever the case may be. But get it cho. Shut up. That weekend he goes out of town because I don't know what this, that, and the third that the friend had to do. So I'm gonna call Drake's friend Kanye. No, was Kanye that toxic? Nah, Kanye is toxic. I'm gonna call Drake's friend Kanye. And now Kanye is dating Kim. You see, the names are just falling into place, right? So he goes out that weekend and then Kim hits me up. She's like, ah man, I also got into a little bit of a scuffle with Kanye, but whatever. So on the Saturday, Kim calls me and she's like, hey, what are you doing? I think I actually called Kim and I'm like, Kim, what are your plans for the day? You know, I'm bored. I'm here at Drake's house. He's out of town. I have nothing to do. And that's how I basically had access to his car, because I had the keys because we lived together. Or mina nje ndimuve in. Maybe abangivumelanga ndimuve in. Mina ndavele ndamove. Mara guys, it was consensual a bit. Fine, so Kim hits me up and she's like, hey, I'm actually not too far from Drake's house. I'm going to this event that has to do with like cars. So I'm like, Kim, nah, say less, let me meet you there. Let me meet you there by that event because, you know, I have nothing better to do, whatever. Drake allowed me to use one of his cars, the little one, the compact one. Cool. So I take his car and I go meet her by that place where cars are doing car stuff. And it's during the day. So now this is like early in the afternoon. So it's like 1, 2 o'clock. So we meet up, we go, we have fun, we take snaps. And I even remember because in that moment, I was taking snaps and posting them so that Drake could see that I'm there with Kim. Because obviously Drake, there were a lot of trust issues in our relationship, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm a beautiful gal. He always thought I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing, right? So to obviously prove to him that I'm not doing anything I shouldn't be doing, I took his car because I knew that he could track the car. Oh no, I don't even think I knew that at that point. Let me not even care. I don't think I knew that at that point. I think I only knew that afterwards when we had that big fight at his friend's house, that he was tracking the car. That's why he would let me use it. Nah, bro. N4 niggas on the ghetto bottom. Nah, but I don't mind it though. I was in love with him, so whatever. So I go into the racetrack and I start taking snaps to let him know that this is where I'm at, babe. You know, like even though we're finna fight and I hate you, you know I love you, you know I got your back. So whilst we there at the racetrack, we meet up with some friends who know Drake and Kanye, but they obviously respect them, like they weren't trying anything funny with us, whatever. It was like 2 guys and 2 women. So they were like to us afterwards, nah, let's go to da-da-da-da and have lunch, which is not too far from this race place and it's not too far from Drake's house. So it obviously made it easier for me to be able to go back to Drake's house immediately afterwards. And also bear in mind, I used to send him my location frequently. Like I used to send him my location frequently. Like it was a common thing. It wasn't even like a question of what's going on. Just location, this, if I don't send it, how? And then, you know, cool, didn't mind it at the time, it's fine. And I think the older I become, the more I don't mind it because I I think I'm too old to be doing all the things I was attempting to do when I was younger. And I think it's because I now realize that men don't deserve us like the root. But it's fine. Finally, Ria to this restaurant place, we eat, we have lunch, we chill, and now I'm busy doing the pops and bangs. Come on out, guys. It's nice. It's nice. It's Dima Sami. It's all the way there. TV is big. You understand? It's Dima Sami Slap. Impagamo ile. Even when I was working, I was rolling the keys in my hand like this. And the thing is, those who know knew that that was his car, because his car was obviously decked down so specifically that obviously, like for example, I understand. But with him, it's not like the number plate is weird or anything, but everybody just knew that that spec, that car belonged to Drake. Hey, that's what you're trying to everybody else. We get to this place, we chill, guys, we have lunch, I'm snapping, you know, I'm letting the boy know that I'm good, I'm safe, I'm fine. We're still in a bit of a scuffle, we're still going back and forth, and I think the reason we were going back and forth is because he went to an event without me, which I found very strange, because it was like we were always tied at the hip. So why these specific encounters did you want to be there without me? Or at least I'm not confusing the two. Hey, man. So, okay, fine. Then obviously it gets late. It's Boma 5, Boma 6, Boma 7, Boma 8. Now this is where your fave fucks up. We're chilling with those two guys and those two girls. As far as I'm concerned, I don't remember, I think those two girls at some point they disappeared. And then it was the two guys and us. But obviously we knew the two guys through Kim and Drake, or through Kanye and Drake. So we're chilling, we're comfortable. So now it's time to leave. And then I don't remember if it was those two guys or it was a random stranger who decided to pay our bill, Kim and I. But guys, we're beautiful women, guys. Like, sometimes as a beautiful woman, you have to just enjoy the perks of being a beautiful woman. So the one guy, I think, who paid for my bill, and this is the part where I lied, guys. Yo, this is the part where, woo! I mean, I was accused of cheating, which is false, but there was a part where I lied in the story, which made things worse. You see, if I just told the truth, I'd still be in the dark box, I'd still be called out of my name, but at least I had my truth, you know? No. Naledi, because she feared Drake. This guy pays for a bill, and we're like, alright, cool, sweet. So Kim and I decide I'm gonna go to her place. Now she lives a little bit outside of Johannesburg, right? So we decide that we're gonna go to her place, smoke up and chill. Now, this is where things get technical and really, really tricky. Okay, this is where I have to explain the nature of Drake and Kanye's relationship so that it can make sense as to why I had to, you know, things worked out the way they did. At the time, things are still fine. I'm texting him. He obviously can track his car, but I didn't know. So we decide to go out of Johannesburg to her house. But then while we're driving, before we even leave at the restaurant, I remember us having this back and forth about how was Drake gonna feel about me going to Kanye's house. Now, the relationship between Kanye and Drake was very estranged. Like, they get along, they care about each other, but there's also an element of competition and jealousy and things that, as women, we can't understand, we couldn't explain. And because we were on the outside looking in, we had no idea why these things were occurring. You know what I mean? So I even remember there was one point where I wanted to go to Kim and Kanye's house, and he was like, why would you want to go there without me? Why would you want to go there? Because I haven't been there. And I was like, I'm gonna go see Kim. And he completely forbade it. Is it forbade? Forbade? It's not forbade. It can't be forbade, Sha. I'm pretty sure it's forbade. He said no, he completely wouldn't let me go to Kanye's house. He actually insisted that I ask him to come to our house. And to be really honest with you, I understood the dynamics of why he did that, because there were elements of Kanye that were very questionable, and I understand why Drake wanted to keep his private space private from Kanye. But Drake and Kanye, they just had a weird relationship. They would see each other, go to each other's houses, but when we wanted to go to each other's houses, they wouldn't let us. Even Kanye felt some type of way when Kim came to my place and we were cooking and smoking habdi and drinking, and it became this big hoo-ha. And we were just like, what the fuck? And then I was like, I just don't know, guys. I knew from Drake's perspective, and I could see from the little things that Drake would say about why he didn't want me to go there. No, about why he didn't really want me around Kanye's space. But I didn't understand the element, because if I were to go to Kim when Kanye is not there, what is the issue? You know? Because that's exactly what we wanted to do. So as we were driving there, I called Kim and I'm like, you know what, dude, I think maybe I shouldn't push. Oh, no, I'm a liar, I'm a fucking liar. I did push his buttons that night. I went to Kim's house. We chilled, we smoked tightly, you know, we just got to know each other, whatever the case may be. I mean, we already knew each other's best friends, but like, we were just really being together and we really enjoyed each other's company. And by the way, we're best friends now, like we're still best friends. Like I saw her recently, you know? So now it's time to go home. And now I shop at the car and I go home. And now, I think I get calls in the interim about where I am, where I'm coming from, what's happening, this, that. And I don't know what lie I made up in the moment, but things started shivering because I was too afraid to tell him that I came from Kim's house. I was just terrified because I knew what that meant. So I don't know if I started lying or whatever had happened, but then he came back the next day, because that next day would have been a Sunday. No. And I think we started having a fight on the phone about it, right? Because I don't know if I took the car back to my place or his place, or I just don't remember the dynamics of it. It was too long ago. But we had a fight and I had to take the car back to his place. So I must have went back to his place. And then he started asking me questions like, are you cheating on me? Were you there with guys? What's going on? You were at a man's house. I'm like, Nkabia, you know what? I think I was just too in love with that nigga to see that this is so toxic. But I was like, mate, this is where I went. You had my live location up until this point, which I think had switched off until up a certain point. You called me, and then the other lie I made was to say, no man, and I went back because I was too afraid to tell him that I went to her house. Fine. So now this is where my lies started packing up against me, and it just made me look so guilty. It just made me look like jail time. Arrest her, your officer, you know? Fine. I think we kind of had a sit down where he started asking me questions and he needed answers. He was like, are you cheating on me? I'm like, dude, I am not cheating on you. And he was like, okay, cool. So tell me what happened. And I'm like, okay, no, dude, we went to this place of which you saw my snaps. Then we went to this place of which you saw my snaps. And then after that, I was basically, what I said was, if I remember correctly, which actually got me into some bullshit, because one thing about Drake, when he wants the truth, he will go and get the truth. Shout. Then I said in my whatever statement affidavit that I was cappering Kim on the highway, and then I off-ramped somewhere in a place that was not too far from Johannesburg, but not too far from Kim, to kind of like drive her back, you know? And he's like, okay, but then what were you doing in this area? And I'm like, no, I must have stopped for some petrol or something. And he's like, which petrol station did you go to? Like, but there must have been a Shell or something there. You know what Kim and Kanye did? So Drake started, no, not Kim. So Drake started pouring into Kanye on some, nah, these bitches are cheating. And Kanye's like, nah, are they? And then after that, Kanye's like, nah, they must be. Because why would you lie to me? Why would you lie to me? So the actual person who was wrong here was me. So that's why Drake was convinced that I was cheating, because I'm the one who couldn't explain her whereabouts, right? So eventually, I stopped lying and I sent... Yo, guys! Eventually, Drake starts asking me these questions about where were you, what do we do, da, 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 da. So then I tell him the truth. I'm like, listen, dude, I actually went to Kim's house. Ah! It's another fight. It's another fight. Yeah. Calling out of my name. Mara, I'm so mo. We're still dealing with the bill at the restaurant. He's like, who paid this bill? He's like, I'm convinced that you were with a man this weekend. I'm like, I swear to God, Mother's grave wasn't with a man. So now I had to come clean, right? He's like, who paid this bill? And I'm like, I paid the bill. And he's like, where's the proof of payment? Where's your bank slip? I'm like, nah, I paid cash.
I was straight.
I paid cash. Because he hated that. He hated any man buying me anything. He was gone wild. Yo! If he even so much as heard or had some sort of telepathic hearing that I'm drinking another nigga's alcohol, yo! It's actually probably one of the reasons why, till this day, when I go out, I buy my own alcohol because I avoid those kind of arguments because I remember how frequent they were in our relationship. Like, I couldn't go out with a friend. If I went out with a friend and the friend had a guy in the second who drank the alcohol, it's a fight. If, let's say, a guy did something nice for me, it's a fight. If, let's say, this happens, it's a fight. So it was never maybe they liked me and I didn't do anything. It was a why are you drinking other men's alcohol, of which some men share that sentiment, which is fair, you have every right to, but in some instances it's just plain outright ridiculous, right? Fine, whatever. To a point where waiters would even hide from Drake and Kanye when men bought us alcohol because they knew that it would get bad. You're gonna get here, hey guys, yeah. So fine, he asked me about that bill, so I lied and I'm like, nah, I pay cash. And he's like, where's the slip? And I'm like, you know what, you can go to the restaurant yourself and actually ask them, because the truth of the matter is, I don't know if we had tipped the waiter not to tell my boyfriend, Drake, at the time. No, but I think those niggas had paid cash. So, kalaki, we had an alibi. We had an alibi. Shut up. Now the next question is, where did you go after that? Now luckily, I had an alibi for that too, because Kim had somehow taken a picture of Drake's car when it was parked outside Kanye's house, because Kanye was asking her where she is, and she was like, I'm with Naledi at the house. So that saved me, because he thought that I had went to some guy's house. So Kanye came through for me and was like, no. She actually was at my place. So that's the one thing that saved me, is that Kanye came through and said, no, she was at my place because Kim sent me a picture at this time and here's your car. So now he's softening, but he's still stiffening, because inside the home, in the homestead, he didn't want me to go to that house to begin with. So we still have our own fight, but it saves me from the I cheated allegation, right? But before that had even happened, then I had said, he was like, then why did you take a route through Centurion? And I'm just like, no, I have to remember, did I take a route through Centurion? I don't remember taking a route through Centurion. But now I'm just lying to save my ass. I'm terrified, I'm scared. And I'm like, no, I must have stopped at the garage.
Guys, every day.
Guys, don't lie. Don't lie. You know, just tell the truth. No matter how bad it is, tell the truth, because it's 10 times better than the mess I put myself in for not cheating. You know what Drake and Kanye do Monday morning? They go to that garage, they get the CCTV footage, and then he sends me the video on WhatsApp and he's like, you lying bitch. I'm like,
yo, hi. Yo. No ways, no fucking ways.
now I'm stuck I'm genuinely not cheating, but I've put myself in the stickle pickle that I can't get myself out of. Right, okay, so guys, I shot myself in the foot completely, and that's when I had to kind of take an L. That, you know what? Maybe you didn't cheat, but your actions are of someone who's cheating, because you didn't have to lie that much, you know? And I was like, but I'm cheating, come here. I really wasn't cheating at that time. You know, it was so hard to cheat on Drake because he always had my location. He always knew how to track my phone. He always knew how to hack my phone. Well, not maybe hack is an extreme one, but he had my password at one juncture of our relationship that I literally had to take the L of knowing that I wouldn't cheat on him. And now I think it just became so weird, or like so like crazy, how I was accused of that. And because I couldn't defend myself in the moment of the garage section, they went to the CCTV. Drake and Kanye went to the garage. They're like, you're not there, where's the car? And you can hear them in the video going, yeah, but cheating, but cheating. That time, Kim is at home, but Kanye is embracing this mess. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know? And then Kanye called me. I remember Kanye called me and he was like, Naledi, why are you doing it? And I'm like, mate, I'ma need you to come. Nigga, help me. I'm not cheating. You know what, guys? Yeah, okay. Did I lie? Yes, I lied. Did it get me some trouble? Probably. More trouble than it should have? Of course, yes. But like, nigga, help me. Like, nigga, look at the time span from your place to Drake's place. You can obviously tell that I didn't make any pit stops anyway. And he's like, yeah, but why did you lie? And I'm like, ah! And that for dating. Like, I think Kanye was just very comfortable seeing us burn. Like, he's just that type of gent. Like, he was just very comfortable seeing us burn. So that's essentially how I was falsely and very much falsely accused of cheating. And that's my story. I mean, I was accused of cheating a lot of times, and I literally, let's say out of 10, and this is the scope, I was at least accused of cheating 9 times in the one time that I actually did cheat. That one being 10% of the 90% where I was a faithful, strong black woman. The Bogoto! Guys, nah, niggas from the info will bring out the Bogoto in you, bro. They will bring out the... But you know what, looking back on it now, I think the older I become, the more I realize that had I just told the truth in certain situations instead of hiding out of fear and terror, things would have turned out differently. And the fact that I was such a hothead when I was younger, always like wanting to defend myself, always coming from a background where I always had to defend myself, it was like, what the actual fuck, you know? But now, I think, now guys, now I'm a truth-telling machine. Like now if they're like, are you cheating? Yes. Bro, who will shoot themselves in the foot? The answer you're looking for is me. I'll shoot myself in the fucking foot. If it's at the cost of saving my partner, I will shoot myself in the fucking foot. And I think it just kind of creates that level of trust. If you've hurt someone, the aim is to make up for it, but in that moment in time, or like, well, recently, I just can't imagine lies saving my relationship because of the trauma that lies put me through in my last relationship. And this is not from a me perspective, but this is from a him perspective, where lying is a deal breaker for me because of all the lies I've been exposed to. So why would lying be a deal breaker if my ass plans on lying? See? You see? You got a mama, guys. You got a mama. But yeah, guys, that is it. Alright guys, PD layers. But anyway guys, we've reached the end of this story time. Please comment down below. Let me know if you want me to release more story times this year, because I've honestly thought about Isti Masami. But if you guys care about Isti Masami more than I do, then I'm game for whatever. Let me know if you like the story time. Comment down below. But until then, we've reached the end of this video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.